inside the M760i, and we got a lot of cool functions here. We have a really good heads-up display. I don't know if you can see it with the glare here. If you're familiar with any BMW, you see the new screens that they have for 2023 model year. So essentially you almost have a double screen here. So what they did, and your cup holder does fit my large water bottle. And the great thing is you actually, believe it or not, have heated and cooled cup holders. How cool is that? You have wireless charging up here, turning the phone the other way. And this screen, so what they did here for 2023 is try to get as many buttons away as possible. So if you remember my M340i xDrive, that was a 2020 model. We had a lot of buttons here. You could save up to like 8 presets. You had your HVAC buttons. You had your stereo presets. Now everything is on the screen. So it does take a little to get used to. I think it's a little more difficulty than last time, but these buttons here are essentially the same. So we can go to media, we can go to the home button here, and now we have separate screens here for navigation, music. This is a new car, so we have Sirius XM radio, your telephone, personal assistant. You can even get the weather. Now the weather here is 66 degrees, but we have those Canadian wild forest fires here, even though they're coming all the way from Canada, and it smells like the forest fire is about a mile away instead of, because all the smoke clouds are coming through. So it's not ideal right now for sure. And then my BMW will always tell you when your car needs for service. If we go on some of the door panels here, we have you have heated seats, cooled seats, and you have massage seats. So if we bring this up now, it should come up to the massage screen. You have different levels of intensity here. You can do 2, 3, 0. You can do all kind of activation. You want to do a back massage, it'll tell you what's going to be activated now. You lean back, and in a minute or so, you'll feel the massage. This one has the Bowers & Wilkins, which is the optional stereo. I've heard it in the M5, heard it in this car. It is phenomenal. To me, it's worth the extra money. It's up to you, but I think if you're going to get a premium luxury car like this, it kind of adds to that luxurious experience. Now, if we go to reverse, we have a really good backup camera here. So again, we can have a backup assistant where it records the last 30 seconds or so. If you were in a tight parking space with poles, we can have different assistant views here, different camera views. It'll tell you if I'm backing out the actual exact trajectory I will take. As you can see, there's construction behind me, so a camera like this would come in handy. You could even do a car wash. So if we're trying to, why would you take your new car to a car wash? But if you do, you can make sure you line yourself up on the runners there. Panoramic view, so now I can do all kinds of sides of the car. We can do a parking view, so this will show me the curbs, and then I can go to individual cameras. I have a curb on parallel parking in Hoboken in New York City. I can bring up the camera here to see on the curb. I want to see how far I am to this pole in a parking garage. I can do that, and I also can look into the front or the rear. Really spacious headroom here. You have the double sunroof. We're going to sit in the back seat in a second. And it's very airy. I feel I have a lot of headroom here, even though the car has a sunroof, which usually you lose about 2 inches here because of the mechanicals. So let's sit in the back seat. All right, so now I'm in the back seat, and this is 7 series levels of comfort here. We have our own HVAC controls, and we actually have 4 zones. So this is definitely a 5-seater. This is probably one of the few cars that I would say is actually a 5-seater, because you can certainly fit a 5th person here. Even me being 6 feet tall can sit in this middle position. It's a little too tight for my feet here, but I could make do on a short trip. You have another power outlet down there. You have 2 USB-Cs, so if your kids want to plug in their phones, their tablets, whatever kids use nowadays. You do have heated seats back here, not cooled seats. And again, 4-zone climate control so that different passengers in the back seat can have different temperatures, which is very convenient. Again, you have extra speakers here because of the Bowers & Wilkins. You have these sunshades here. You have a really nice sunroof here that I believe changes to open or close. So here right now it's coded to let in light, but not the heat of the sun. And you can see really well here the screen and a good layout. I love this carbon fiber trim, which is an extra, but well worth it. I really love carbon fiber. I think it looks really great. The steering wheel is the same essentially as my M340i xDrive. All right, looking at the trunk, it's incredibly spacious. So you have a little pass-through here that I guess, I don't know if it's a security shade so people can't see in. This just pops out. You actually have cup holders in the back because you do have a 3rd row seat. Now you do have a very good, if you take this down and you just go with the trunk, you have a very spacious trunk. Now if we go with the third row seat, so what this does is when we press the button is power to get to the third row seat. In order to fit the headrest, it actually brought my seat forward. As you can see, it's more upright. And when you're done with the third row, you could just bring it back by just a touch of the button. Real easy to close. And you can actually set the ride height with that too. So I'm taller, I like it higher. And again, everybody knows you bought the expensive one, the M60i. Now we're driving the M760. And the engine, even in its most base setting, actually feels pretty aggressive. It feels pretty meaty. We got a lot of power under my right foot, and it's got really good sound. Probably is enhanced sound, but who cares? It still sounds pretty good. Very commanding view of the road. That's really, I think, the reason you would buy this over the 7 Series. I really like how the 7 Series looks. I really like the theater seating the 7 Series has. This X7 is essentially an SUV version of that car. The heads-up display is very clear. It tells me the speed that I'm going. These graphs here, these bar graphs, depending how you have your steering wheel, could be a little hard to read, so I'm going to raise this up a little bit. But then the steering wheel is a little too high for me to read those clearly. My preferred position, 9 and 3, to hold the steering wheel. The steering wheel will be blocking a portion of it. Luckily, miles per hour is front and center. And again, forgive the fogginess of this day. We're having those Canadian forest fire smoke clouds rolling through. So of course, that was the day I'm scheduled for this press car. So leave a comment below. Thank BMW for this press car. This is, you know, I get to have this right at my house. I don't have to go to a press event where I'm sharing the car with 50 other people. This car today is just for me, and thank you so much for BMW. When I started the channel, this was my goal. This is extremely comfortable. The massage, even in its highest setting, is not as vigorous as the massage seats in my Panamera Turbo, but they are effective. I do feel it working. Now we have it on the max setting, which is 3, the highest. On 1, I bet you would barely feel this. The cup holders are nice and cool. My water bottle is actually cold with the cool cup holders. And we're gonna go up to some twisty turns here, and then we'll test it out on the highway. So one thing is the car is very, very quiet. That's why you're buying this car. You're probably a CEO, a CFO. You probably have a family. Your kids are probably tall because you're tall. So you need that extra back seat. And the leg room in there is very, very comfortable. A lot of torque in this car, so very easy to accelerate. It almost sounds like a baby M5. Remember, there is no X7M, so the closest they have to an M car would be this M Sport, which is the M60. But you could definitely hear the V8 engine. I love V8 engines. Gas mileage, we've been averaging since I picked up this car, 15.6 miles per gallon. But we've been driving in the city, essentially. We haven't been on the highway yet with it. There's a lot of back roads where I live. Brakes are really powerful. Unfortunately, we're going to be following him to the highway. It does a really good job in the turn. So what I love about BMW is that I think they have the greatest mix of handling with a smooth ride. So most cars, if you go into a sport or a sports suspension setting, it is really harsh. BMW will still be comfortable enough for your car and significant other, and still handles as well, if not better than those other cars. So let's switch it now into sport mode. And now as we hit sport, we have sport individual, where we configure individual settings. What we can do is throttle pedal, suspension, steering. It also gave us new instrumentation here. We press sport again. We will get into sport setting, and then we're gonna get a Sport Plus. Now that's an extra dynamic. You hear the difference in sound. See how loud it got when we put in Sport Plus? All right, so we're gonna do an acceleration just up to the highway speed here. And this will get you a 0 to 60 time of about 4.6 seconds. I hope you like trucks, because dump trucks and tractor trailers are all over here in New Jersey. Now, it's a heavy car, so it doesn't feel super fast, but you do feel the torque with the car. So now listen, we're in Sport Individual, where I'm pressing the button, we're going into Sport, that dynamic setting, and we're gonna go into Sport Plus and listen for the engine difference right now. See how much louder it got? And we're not going any faster. So now in the highway, there is some more road noise. I hear some wind noise. It's very quiet though, compared to other cars in its class. Again, forgive the fogginess here. The air quality is just terrible today. All right, so I hope you like this video of the M760 X7. This is a new 2023 by BMW. This is a press car that I was able to have to myself today. So special thanks to BMW North America for allowing me to do this. Please leave a comment below, and I would love to get more press cars. So please let me know. Comment and like and share on every video. Hit that subscribe button and let me know what car you want me to review next, and I'll do whatever I can to make that happen. Once I get enough people asking for that car, I can go to that manufacturer and say, look, all the people are asking for it, and to get that press car. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time.